Hello, my dear student. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. I hope you are well in your home. I'm going to take another important class today. Without it, you cannot do the grammatical item of completing sentence and transformation of sentence. So it is so important for doing this kind of option of English grammar. So today we are learning something about the topics of the class. Okay, let's start. First of all, the identity of me. What do you see in the screen? I think it's an innocent baby is sleeping. So we like the baby because it is innocent. Why we like the baby? Because it is innocent. What is it? This is, I think it's a sentence. It is a sentence. We like the baby. We like the baby is the part of a sentence. Okay? It is a part of a sentence. But what is this? It is a part of a sentence. So, our today's lesson is a part of a sentence that means clause. So, it is very important for the student to know the clause. Without it, you cannot do clearly or understand clearly the transformation of sentence and completing sentence for class 9, 10 and intermediate also. Okay, we will learn something about the clause. First of all, the learning outcome of our today's class. At the end of the lesson, we will be able to identify the clauses, identify the kinds of the clauses, identify the structure of the clauses, and recognize the clauses. Okay? Here we see a baby or a baby boy is playing. The teacher said that education is the backbone of a nation. The teacher said that education is the backbone of a nation. We see the baby who is praying to Allah. Here are two sentences, okay? And it is a part of one part of the sentence, and it is also a part of that sentence. Okay, so we know before that clause is a part of a sentence. So here is a definition of clause. A clause is a part of a sentence. It is formed with a group of words having a subject and a finite verb. It can express a partial or full meaning of the sentence individually. Okay, but you will have to follow the method that there is a marking word. There are two marking words here. First of all is a subject and then a finite verb. Without the word, the sentence cannot be formed. Okay, it is very important. It is a part of a clause. So every clause has a subject and a finite verb. Without this, a sentence cannot be formed. Okay? So we see more. We see again that a clause is a part of a sentence. It is formed with a group of words. Here is a group of words and having a subject and a finite verb. In that part, the subject is that education and is a finite verb, and in this part we subject and see is finite verb. So every sentence or every clause has to have a subject and a finite verb. It can express a partial or full meaning. It can express the meaning which is partial and full meaning of a sentence individually. Okay, so we have learned what is clause is. How many kinds of clauses are there in English grammar? Can you tell me how many kinds of clauses are there in English grammar? Okay, there are 3 clauses. Okay, first of all, principal clause, subordinate clause, and coordinate clause. Okay, we know about it, but we will have to know the form and the categories of the clauses. Follow something. I love my mother who loves me more than her life. I love my mother who loves me more than her life. Here is a part and here is also a part. In this sentence there are 2 parts. First part and second part. Okay. The part which is placed in first is independent clause that expresses full meaning individually. The part is principal clause or independent clause. I love my mother. It is not dependent with the other parts. And on the other hand, the part which is not fully dependent, dependent clause that expresses unclear meaning individually. This part of the sentence expresses unclear meaning, and it is fully dependent on the principal clause. So it is called principal clause, and it is subordinate clause. So we are clear here. The part which has a subject and a verb and express the meaning clearly is called principal clause, and the part which has also a subject and a verb and cannot express the meaning clearly, it is dependent with the principal clause, so it is subordinate clause. Okay, explain of principal clause. We will explain the principal clause. I love my mother. It is fully independent and it is not dependent with the other clause. So it is a principal clause. It has 3 parts. I love my mother. I subject, love, finite verb, and my mother is extension. So every clause has a subject and a finite verb. Without this, the sentence cannot be formed. Okay, you will have to follow it very minutely. So a principal clause is a clause that bears a subject, a finite verb, an extension, and works as a part of a bigger sentence. It is a part of a bigger sentence, and it has also it has a subject and a finite verb. It is mandatory to have subject and a finite verb. Without this, clause cannot be formed. Okay, so I again reply it. A principal clause is a clause that bears a subject, a finite verb, an extension, and works as a part of a bigger sentence. Okay, you will have to mind it very carefully. Okay, so individually a principal clause and a simple sentence is the same. Okay, individually a principal clause and a simple sentence is the same. Whenever a principal clause is added with a bigger sentence is considered as principal clause. যখন প্রিন্সিপাল ক্লোজ একটি বিগার সেন্টেন্সের অংশ হিসেবে থাকে তখন এটা একটা প্রিন্সিপাল ক্লোজ হিসেবে বসে, আর যখন এটা ইন্ডিভিজুয়ালি এক্সপ্লেন করে, ইন্ডিভিজুয়ালি এটা ওয়ার্ক করে, তখন এটা একটা সিম্পল সেন্টেন্স হিসেবে কাজ করে। ওকে, সো এক্সপ্লেন অফ subordinate clause. Who loves me more than her life? Who loves me more than her life? Here is here are some first of all, who is it is subject here, and it is a finite verb and extension. Okay, it is a part of a bigger sentence. Okay, and it is not fully dependent, it is independent. It is dependent with the principal clause. So here are some parts, and it is mandatory to have subject and finite verb if it is a clause. So a subordinate clause is a clause that bears a subject, a finite verb, and extension, but it cannot work without the help of principal clause. Okay, it is very you have to clear it that this part is cannot express its meaning clearly without the help of the principal clause. So it always depends on principal clause. Okay, it is a part of a bigger sentence, but it is fully dependent on principal clause. Here is another example. Unless you work hard, you will fail. In this sentence, there are two parts. First of all, unless you work hard, and then you will fail. In this sentence, you will fail is fully dependent, and it is a principal clause. And first of all, at first the sentence begins is the subordinate clause, and it is not dependent. It is dependent with the principal clause. So it cannot express full meaning, and it is dependent on this principal clause. This clause is dependent on this principal clause. So it is a subordinate clause. There are some special words by which subordinate clause is formed. We know that every subordinate clause has a subordinating conjunction. Without the conjunction, you cannot form a subordinate clause. So it is very important to know which is the subordinating conjunction. Okay, here is a chart of subordinating conjunction. First of all, after, before, in order that, since, though, whenever, whether, although, even if, once, so that, unless, where, while, as, even though, provided that, then, until, whereas, why, because, if, rather than, that, when, whether. These are the subordinating conjunction. Without the conjunction, you cannot form a subordinate clause and also a complex sentence. Here are some relative pronouns, which is included with the subordinating conjunction. It is also subordinating conjunction. That, who, which, whose, which, whoever, whosoever, whichever, whom, whomever. There are the relative pronoun, and all of the conjunctions are subordinating conjunctions. Okay, you will have to know the chart, especially for the student of class 9, 10 and intermediate. It is very mandatory to know the subordinating conjunction. Which is the subordinating conjunction? Okay, I think you will memorize the chart. And coordinating clause. What is coordinating clause? I invited him and he accepted it. I invited him and he accepted it. If you follow, you will find the sentence is formed with two independent clauses, and in the middle point there is a subordinate or coordinate conjunction. Okay, here is a conjunction, and both parts of the conjunction is independent clause. Okay, we see the independent clause, and it is also independent clause. Two independent clause is formed with the help of the conjunction. Okay, so it is and here is another example. He is poor but honest. He is poor but honest. But is in the middle of the two independent clause. He is poor but he is honest. He is poor but he is honest. So when two independent clauses are added with a coordinating conjunction, is called a coordinate clause. Okay, what is a coordinate clause? When two independent clauses are added with a coordinating conjunction, it is called a coordinate clause. Okay, there are some special words by which coordinate clause is formed. There are some also coordinating conjunction. Here are the chart of coordinating conjunction. First of all, and, both and, also, to, as well as, no less than, not only but also, now, well, either or, neither nor, otherwise, else, or, but, still, yet, nevertheless, however, while, only, therefore, then, so, so then. There are the coordinating conjunction. Without the conjunction, you cannot form a coordinate clause. Okay, so find out and write the names of the clauses. Here is homework for you. Okay, here is a homework for you, and you will have to find out the names of the clauses. Which clause is principal clause, which clause is subordinate and coordinate clause. Okay, here are some here are 5 sentences. Every sentence has a name, and you will have to find out the name, which sentence is it. Okay, so that's of all today. I think you will be very benefited after knowing the clause, and it is very important for forming or doing the grammatical item of transformation of sentence and completing sentence, which is seem to you very difficult. I think after learning this clause, it will be very easy for you. So that's all and Allah Hafiz. I think you will in staying at home and safe. Till then, Allah Hafiz. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.